Hello everyone. So today we will have the ninth meeting of the public economy subject, and then today we will try to discuss about the public good. So actually, what is the public good means, and how do we define the public goods, and then what the differences between public goods and also the private goods. So we will talking about that things, and then we try to um, begin from the public goods means. So actually, if you are talking about the public goods, public goods mean, if we are talking in economy, public good refers to a commodity or service that is made available to all members of a society. So typically, these services are administered by governments. So the highlight or the key point is the government, administered by the government and paid for collectively through taxations. So the keyword is about the government and tax. So for example of the public goods include the law enforcement, national defense, and so on and so forth. I think we will discuss more about the public goods later in the next slide. But then, what the things that you have to know is for the public goods is um, the service that administrated or managed by the government, and commonly it's collectively through tax. So for this one is the differences between the private goods and also the public goods, as I mentioned before. So actually, for the type of goods, for the private goods, it means that good produced with the allocation of private resource and cannot be obtained without sacrifice, or rival goods. Rival goods mean a good whose consumption by one customer prevent simultaneously consumption by other consumer. So that's the private goods. Or if we are talking about the private goods, the key point is private goods are excludable and rival. For example, for the public goods is including foods or clothes or so on and so forth. And then for the public goods, so public goods produced with or without resource allocation power and can be obtained without sacrifice. Public goods have two characteristics: non-rival and non-exclusive. So, for example, if we are talking about the public goods, public parks or the air we breathe, so that's the public goods. Anyone can enjoy with that without paying anything, right? Okay, so we go to the next. The need for public goods. So actually, public goods are goods and services or systems that must be prepared by the government in order to provide services to its citizens that I mentioned before, right? So actually, the public goods is managed or prepared or administered by the government to provide some services, some good things to its citizen or society. So, for example, of public goods, another example is infrastructure, such as roads, bridge, ports, and etc., or security defense system, justice system, and etc. Well, for the procurement of public goods can be carried out by the government or companies, properties of public goods. First, I already mentioned that public goods is not exclusive or non-excludable. So non non-excludable means that the owner of the item cannot prevent someone from using that item. Good are users cannot be forced to pay. For example, Monas Park in Jakarta, Highway, Mosque, and etc. And also there is no non-rival or there is no competition in the use of public goods because the use of public goods by someone does not cause other people's satisfaction to use those goods to decrease. For example, is that satisfaction of someone who breathes fresh air in the city park is not reduced by other people doing the same thing. That will be same. So that's the public good. So the key point is that for the public goods it will be non-refundable and also non-excludable or non-exclusive. For if we try to judge or if we try to make the differentiation between private and also public goods. So private goods are rival and also excludable, right? Okay, so there are public goods that are not exclusive, but containment its use will drop as more users are on certain time. So, for example, is because many cars use the road, it becomes jammed. In this case, even though the user is free of charge, user satisfaction is reduced. So it means that people know that road is free for charge, but because there will be causes the change, so that's why people maybe some people just take the public transportation because yeah they just no satisfaction no satisfaction with the change. And then conversely, there are also public goods that are exclusive, but there is no compensation for its user. For example, is the use of the internet and telecommunication facilities. To use this item is not free, but user is not distributed by his satisfaction because other people use the same product. So that's the differentiation between, you know, several goods, several public goods are not exclusive. So this is the differentiation between rivalry and also excludability. So for the level of compensation, it will be between individuals to benefit from a goods, will be rival or non-rival, and then for excludability level of specification for individuals using a good will be excludable or non-excludable. That's the differentiation. I will explain more later. So actually for the you know type of goods, it will be have four differentiation that will be rival, non-rival, excludable, and non-excludable. So for the rival, benefits on the consumption of a good less if some individual consumption. Non-rival is the benefit of the consumption of a good is not reduced, although the consumption of some individuals. So that's the differentiation. And then excludable process of consumption, utilization of a good that can be special for individuals. And for the non-excludable is the process of the consumption or utilization of a good that cannot be specialized for individuals. So, okay, that's the differentiation between uh four four goods. Okay, so which one that mm, will be make the or will be into rival, will be non-rival, will be excludable, and non-excludable. So how to read this one, read this table. So if you want to read this table, it means that private goods will be rival and excludable goods. The type of private goods, once again, the type of private goods will be rival and also excludable. And for the club goods or goods semi-private will be non-rival but excludable. For the common pool resource or common goods will be non-excludable but rival. For public goods, it will be non-rival and also non-excludable. So that's that's the type of goods, and then how you can define that goods will be rival or non-rival, excludable or non-excludable. So that's the thing that you have to know, and then how to make differentiation between each other. So once again, private goods is a rival and excludable. Club's good will be non-rival and excludable. Commons good will be rival but non-excludable, and public goods will be non-rival and non-excludable. So, if we are talking about the private goods, because the private goods is rival and excludable, as I mentioned before, the example of private goods include foods, clothes, maybe flour. There are usually limited quantities of these goods, and owner or seller can prevent other individuals from enjoying their benefits. Because of their relative scarcity, many private goods are exchanged for payment. So, like, limited edition. I think some seller use that words to make people wants to buy goods or buy something to that seller or to that owner. Limited edition for Christmas, limited edition for blah blah blah. So that's the private goods. And for the common goods is common goods are no common goods are not excludable and non and rival, right? Non-excludable and rival. Because of these traits, common goods are easily overconsumed, leading to a phenomenon called tragedy of commons. In this situation, people will withdraw resources to secure short-term gains without regard for the long-term consequences. A classic example of common goods are fish stocked in international water. No one exclude from fishing, right? But as people withdraw fish without limits being imposed, the stock for later fishermen are depleted, right? So, the non-excludable means not exclusive. So many people can easy to get that, but that's rival because yeah, like for example, as I mentioned before, about the fish in water, in the sea, in international water. So that will be make fishermen depleted, right? Because fishing. All right, for the club goods or goods semi-private is, oh sorry, are excludable, right, and non-rival. The type of goods often requires a membership payment in order to enjoy the benefits of the goods. Non-payers can be prevented from access to the goods. For example, is cable television or maybe tolls. It requires a monthly fee, but is non-rival after payment, right? And then the last one is about the public goods. Public goods is non-rival and also non-excludable or non-exclusive. Individuals cannot be effectively excluded from using them, and use by one individual does not reduce the goods availability to others. For example, is that air we breathe, public parks, and street lights. Public goods may give rise to the free riders problem that I think I already talking about the free riders in the previous meeting, right? So once again, a free rider is a person who receives the benefit of a good without paying for it, without paying anything. This may lead to the under provision of certain goods or services, right? Okay, so this the classification of public goods. So, you know, if you are try to again read the table, you see first exclusive level, and the number is 1, high, low, 0, and then go to the right, low, high, and rivalry level. So exclusive, rivalry. So exclusive level, high rivalry, but level low. This point. So this one is the exclusive level is high, and the level is low here, right? So this only for the example: internet, cell phone, freeway, and then for the low, right? So if you see here, low, use of air, radio, defense system, highway in small town, and so on and so forth. You can make your own example. That's okay. That's good. And if we are talking about the rivalry level is high, but the exclusivity also high. Golf course, cable TV, so on and so forth. And the exclusivity is low, but the rivalry is high. For example, highway in Jakarta, parking lots in Jakarta shops, and so on and so forth. So again, you can make your own example to make your brain broadly. I think I mean like it's only a small example, and then you have to try to looking another example. I think that's many example for this classification. All right, so public goods to private goods. So this one is for this one is public goods, private goods, and then product commodities. This one is for example like defense, administrative law, and then if we are talking about private goods, I mentioned before, shoes, clothes, food, and etc. And then for the product or commodities, hospital, education, energy, and so on and so forth. So that's not a big deal for you, right? This is easy. Okay, so what about the differences or the characteristic of private versus public goods? Okay, so here I give you several example here. For the private, commonly is there is on-shop property rights, limited numbers, it takes sacrifice to own it, and there is an institution or market that balance demand and supply with price as a balancing indicator. But for the public goods, no owners because that belongs to everyone, and then unlimited number, like the air, and then parks. Yeah, free. There is no markets that balance demands and supply. So, but there is a occurs condition. First is carrying capacity, power of assimilation. The renewal power is exceeded, giving rise to the pollution and environment damage. I think that's the things or the problem that should fix for not only government but all the parties, like publics, not only public sector, right, but people, and then private sector, company, and so on and so forth. Okay, so yeah, private goods, we just try to make a definition about the private goods and try to make understanding more about the private goods. So first, for the private goods itself, price of goods based on supply and demand does not provide benefits for those who do not buy and consume competitively. Goods that after the producer is compensated for the cost of production provide benefits only to those who get it and not to others. Okay, so actually in economy, a private goods is defined as an asset that is both excludable and referrals. As I mentioned before, right? It is excludable in that it is possible to exercise private property rights over it, preventing those who have not paid from using the goods or consuming its benefits. For example, person may have the means and will to pay, for example, $10 for a shirt, and then person B may not wish to pay $10 or maybe not be able to do so. So person B would not be able to purchase the t-shirt. Additionally, the private goods is rivalrous or rivalry in this consumption by one person necessarily prevents consumption by others. When person A purchases and drinks a bottle of water, the same bottle of water is not available for person B to purchase and consume because based on that money, right? And if we are talking more about a private goods, is a scarce economic resource which causes competition for it, right? So generally, people have to pay to enjoy the benefits of a private goods. Of course, people have to pay. That's the key point. Because people have to pay to obtain it, private goods are much less likely to encounter a free rider problem than public goods. Thus, generally, the market will efficiently allocate resources to produce private goods. I think that's the benefit of the private goods. Okay, so there will be two cases that you have to answer in class or in my class for the discussion, of course. So, case one, provision of public goods that have been implemented by regions or cities. So, this point means that you should mention, or you should determine of public goods that have been implemented by your agency or your city. For example, you live in Jakarta, or you are come from Jawa Timur, West Java, or you are come from Sidoarjo city, right? Or you are come from Bandung. Yeah, it's up to you. Depend on your cities. So you pick one cities, and then you have to first identify public goods that exist within the district or city government where you live. I mean, where you come from, because if you're now in Yogyakarta, of course, many students will give the example of the Yogyakarta. But the thing is, where are you come from? That's your point that you have to put in. Secondly, identify who the providers of these public goods, whether government or private. So for example, if you are talking park, if you are talking parking lot or something else. So who the providers of that public goods, you have to identify how many public goods that appears or that exists in your city, and then who the provider, or who provide the public goods. And the third one, in your opinion, is the provision of the public goods appropriate, efficient for the government? Example, why this is so, why this is yeah, or why this is nay, or why this is no. So give your explanation. Okay, for the case two, provision of public goods that have not been implemented. So the things differences is that have been implemented are not, and not have been implemented. So you have to identify again public goods that should exist within the district. For example, oh, in my city there is no park, but park is an important place to, to make the for example, environment good, or something like that. So you propose for the government, or you propose what government to what the government have to provide for the public goods in your city. So second, in your opinion, who should provide these public goods, whether government or private? And what are the obstacles faced so that the provision of these public goods has not been realized so far? Yeah, that's your analytical. Why? For example, why government in your city, why government not make the park? Because maybe the budget, or maybe the location, or something. Yeah, you can explain it later. Okay, two discussion that you have to answer in my class. If you still have any question, just let me know. All right, so we come up with externality. Actually, externality is a market transaction cost and benefit not reflected in prices. There are third parties affected by production and consumption. Price for goods and services do not reflect marginal cost or social costs, and third-party benefits or costs are not noticed by the buyer and seller. Yeah, I think in the previous meeting I already mentioned about the externality in economic, right? So this try to make you more understand about the externality, benefit and costs that cannot be taken into account directly in the process of producing goods and services. So the price of goods or services is difficult, cannot be determined by the market. So based on Misan in 1990, externality includes external effect, neighborhood effect, side effects, spillover effect, the form of plus or minus and plus or negative and can occur simultaneously, and the consequences is the market inefficiency and also the emergence of external users, free riders. Yes, that's, I think I already noticed this one in the previous meeting. I remember. Okay, so yeah, actually, if you're talking about the cost benefit analysis, or a cost and benefit is a systematic process for calculating and comparing the marginal benefit and marginal cost of a project or activity. Okay, so this one is the type of externality from uh, producent or producer, and then consumer or consumer. So the effect or impact of the one producer on other producer, effect of producer on the other producer. So that's the, you know, this one is the cycle. So so one can be effect in two, two can be in effect in three. You know, this one, this you know, line for the number three here, or number four can affect in the number one in affect in number two in affect in number three. So first, the type one, producer to other manufacturers or producer to producer. Activities that result in a change or shift in the production function of other producer. So the example of this type is impact or effect in the form of water purification or cleaning costs. This by downstream producer who are affected by water pollution as a result of upstream producer. So yeah, actually, if we're talking about the you know, externality, they will be have the fourth type of impact that I mentioned before. For the type 2, producer to consumer. So the activities that change or shift the utility functions, utilization by households or consumers. For example, of course, the pollution, noise pollution, decreasing natural attractiveness, and radiation hazard. That's the impact. And the third one, customer to consumer to consumer. So yeah, the example is burning garbage by neighbor, noisy sound of neighboring radio or television, cigarettes smoke for other people. I think that's this number three is very terrible problem until now, right? And then type 4, consumer to producer. So the example is household waste is disposed of into the river so that it interferes with certain business that use the water. For example, fishers or fishermen, clean water companies. That will be, you know, will be have the impact. Okay, so but according to other scholars, Baumol and Otis in 1975, the form of externality are first, despicable externality, and second one is undeployed externality. So that's differences is for the depreciable externality, namely an external impact which has the characteristic of private goods. But for the second, for the second explanation or differentiation, he or they mentioned about the public goods. That's the differentiation. Okay, how to overcoming negative externality? How to handle the negative externality? Uh, as as we already discussed in the fourth type. So first, make the regulation. For example, EPA, Environment Protection Agency. If we are talking in Indonesia, we call it AMDAL. Requires all factors to reduce their waste by up to 300 tons per year. I think that's the recommendation from the, some scholars, but I'm not sure in Indonesia because yeah, for the environmental protection agency, that's, like shadow, like only the formality. You can read many, I think you can looking at the many news about the this one, EPA, EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, or AMDAL in Indonesia, how AMDAL works about the save the environment. But I think that's the regulation is based on the central government because all the regulation about that will be in the central government. So now we have the omnibus law, right? So that's, I think that will be made the terrible things about the um the permission about the how to say, build the company. So that's the EPA, 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 only the formality. But what do you think about that? You have to looking others information to make your own opinion. So the second one is to make the Pigouvian tax. So actually Pigouvian tax, also we spell Pigouvian tax, is a tax on any market activity that generates negative externalities. So the tax is intended to correct an undesirable or inefficient market outcome, and thus so by being set equal the external marginal cost of the negative externalities. Social costs include private costs and external costs. So that's the Pigouvian tax. But I don't know if we try to implement or apply in Indonesia, is it will be works or not? But that's the good idea or good suggestion to overcoming the negative externalities. And of course, make the corporate social responsibility or CSR, TSR, corporate social responsibility. We already know about this one, right? Okay, so that's all the materials today. I hope you understand about these materials. So I mentioned again about the what we learned today. First, about the public private goods, and then how we define the types of goods, and then which good will include, or which good will put into a rival and excludable or exclusive, which goods will be non-rival or non-exclusive. And then we also learn about the externality, and then the last one we learn about how we overcoming negative externalities. Maybe if you have the idea um, about the how to overcoming negative externality, others idea from this one, you can, I think you can just share with your discussion in my class letter. And don't forget, you still have the sections. And then please, after watch this video, just come to, or just open your my class, and then in discussion you will have to question about the public goods. And then you have to put, or you have to take the one city as the example. And yeah, of course, if you still have any question, just let me know. Please tell me. And don't forget to, if you want to WhatsApp me, or text me, email me, whatever social media that you use, or contact me, please put your name, put your student ID, or put your class, so I will know you guys. Even, yeah, because some people maybe like even even he or she already or ever text me, and then okay, my Helen will know me. But that's the how to say, that's difficult, difficult memory to memorize you all. So to be honest, that's will be good if you can mention your name, your student ID, and the class, and then what is your question, right? So I think that's all for today. I hope you guys still healthy, and then keep spirit on study, even we still have the online learning. But just feel free if you have any question about this course. So thank you so much, and see you for the others meeting. Bye bye.